Assalamualaikum, and I hope you guys are in good of health. My name is Yusuf Saqafi Bin Azam. My number metric 2020985031. I'm from BA24630, and right here I'm going to present to you about the cultural assimilators. So what is cultural assimilators? A culture assimilators is a culture training programs that first developed at the University of Illinois in 1960s. The procedure started with interview with people who had experience into culture, for example, culture from region A and culture from region B. The question is asked for episode or critical incident that surprised and confused multiple teachers from the United States, members of culture B, when they interacted with people from culture A. So, student samples from the two cultures were asked to explain why the problem or confusion occurs. When the explanation given by the student from the culture A were different from the explanation given by members from culture B, there was something to teach and to be learned. For example, annoyed, the people from Latin America do not look at them when they talk. Why is that happen? The explanation is that in the US, people usually pay attention to the speaker by looking at the speaker, but in Latin America it is insolent and very disturbance to look at the high-status person in the eyes. One is supposed to look down to show some respect. In short, this definition of cultural assimilators is similar to a cross-culture training program. So let's go to the video about the cultural assimilators.
Why cross-cultural training program is a must-have for the modern workplace. How culture is new age KPI of an global organization. Think globalization, and it is difficult not to think of remote workers, international assignments, and increases access to foreign knowledge, critical factors in bringing about organization advancements. If you own a business in this day and age, you will agree that strengthening presence on the global map despite being locally rooted is something everyone strives for. It is the high global internet penetration rate that has made that possible. Today, technology has enabled businesses to scout talented professionals from all over the world, to work for them, whether by relocating or remotely. But when people from different cultures come together to work, there are bound to be gaps in communication. Case in point, an Indian employee, working for a German company, was told by his German manager that a report, which took him a week to prepare, was not good enough. Consequently, the employee felt compelled to resign from his job because he felt unappreciated for his efforts and believed that his efforts behind the task were not noticed. The situation blew out of proportion. The German manager certainly didn't mean for that to happen. However, the lack of cultural preparedness on both sides is what causes such scenarios at work. To assuage such difficulties, businesses with global teams need something called cross-cultural training. Such programs are designed to help employees imbibe and understand the cultural norms and practices of the host country. Such type of training helps expats in preparing them for a new lifestyle and helps them adjust to the changes in their environment. Multiple studies have shown that expats who were provided cross-cultural training before relocating to the host country were able to adapt faster to the changes than those who weren't trained. It is obvious, if you are comfortable with the people you work with and in the environment you work in, you will prove to be more productive. In this article, I attempt to examine 3 reasons why businesses with multicultural staff should focus on cross-cultural training programs. Drive cross-cultural awareness. Acclimatizing to a team from a different country takes time, patience, and cultural awareness. Let me share an example. Work life in the UK is mostly governed by strict deadlines and minimal tolerance for delay. Whereas in India, life moves at a comparatively slower pace, regardless of the hustle seen in the big cities. Such cultural differences may give way for misapprehensions between two parties, especially in a business scenario. The Indian counterpart may delay a meeting by arriving late, which could offend the UK counterpart and give them a wrong perception about Indians. When one is culturally aware, there is an understanding and acceptance that enables them to work in harmony. Tip: finalize a culture statement or catchphrase, one that all your employees can resonate with. Then, hang it on the wall for constant reaffirmation. Try to practice what you preach and incorporate the same in your company's principles. Ease the cross-country transition to succeed in the global corporate scenario. Professionals must understand, appreciate, and accept diverse cultures and practices in different countries. Relocating to and living in another country can sometimes be overwhelming. Often, there are cultural differences between one's home country and the host country. For instance, India has a different societal organization when compared to other parts of the world. In India, joint families where more than 6 family members live together in one home is typical. Besides, visitors can drop by without prior notice. Often, such differences in cultural norms are unknown to expats. To simplify this transition, businesses must provide cross-cultural training to expats. Tip: create a series of videos highlighting the differences in communication, lifestyle, work ethics between professionals from various countries. Facilitate productive communication. A professional, engaged with a multicultural team, would have to interact with numerous kinds of people, including peers, customers, project shareholders, vendors, as a part of their job. Being able to interact with a diverse group of people from another country requires a certain amount of confidence and skill. For instance, Indians have a few non-verbal cues in their style of communication, such as putting palms together and bowing down slightly to welcome someone. Italians, on the other hand, talk with their hands, which could come across as aggressive. This may seem puzzling to a person who may not know this kind of communication. Cross-cultural training provides expats with the confidence and behavioral skills required for effective communication. Tip: arrange for some team-building games, that can happen in-house or online, that enable your employees to mingle with each other, apart from work. Summing it up, in the business world, professionals from different parts of the world interact with one another, and achieve targets and make business decisions as a team. Cross-cultural training teaches the multicultural staff about both the cultural differences and similarities. As a business owner, it is your responsibility to ensure inclusive work practices, and enable your teams to desensitize and become more accepting of one another's cultures. By acknowledging the differences and similarities, they can become more comfortable in their respective dispositions and do better at work.
Regarding to the video that we watched just now, we can say that this cultural assimilators is a must in modern generation. The video just taught us about somehow every multinational company have this cultural assimilators training that provide the technique of the basic concept of another cultural styles. So this is what the cultural assimilators do. Firstly, provide a video that highlight about the differences, work ethic, and communication lifestyle in various countries to the workers. In this, because we know that some gesture, attitude, and role perception can be interpreted differently by every culture. For instance, regarding the gesture, this means okay. Put your hand like this. In US and Asia, this means okay. But this gesture interpreted negatively in Brazil, and we need to be aware about it. That's why it's important of cultural assimilators. Secondly, make the workers engage with multicultural teams that interact in numerous kind of people. For example, this training program sends some workers abroad in a few weeks in terms of work issues. This can make the workers learn a little bit of the culture shown in the country, like doing business in Tokyo. They have to adapt with their culture, like bend their body to show some respect for the people if they meet the people. So if we have experience, we can understand a little bit about the culture in the region, and we bend our body back to show the respect. And lastly, provide team building that consists various of culture. For example, doing such games like ice breaking, sports in the working place that involve people from various cultures, so that they are able to strengthen friendship and understand more deeply about the cultural differences and similarities in various cultures. So this is what cultural assimilators do. For the lesson learning, firstly, cultural assimilators is important to make the more understanding and acceptance toward various culture. So the workers that works in different culture can work with a harmony environment. Secondly, the workers or professional must accept the different culture because the different culture can provide different skills and knowledge and lead the company grow globally. For example, India is good in medical stuff and Africa is good in farming. So we always need all the skills from the various culture. And lastly, this cultural training will make the expats to be more confident and show effective behavior skill for better understanding in the working place. So this is what we can learn from applying this cultural assimilators program. For the conclusion, I believe cultural assimilators is good things in every company to grow globally because it will reduce the gap in communication in terms of various culture, prevent the workers that cannot occupy the job and lastly resign and felt unappreciated with the effort given. So the cultural assimilators training will produce the workers that can adapt with the cultural changes and work with people from various cultures in the harmony working place. That's all from me. Thank you so much.